Hey everyone, welcome back to State of the Steelers. Welcome back to the film room, where today we're going to be breaking down the most recent Pittsburgh Steelers victory over the Baltimore Ravens, 17-10. A game and a victory that basically gave the Pittsburgh Steelers the lead in the AFC North. First place. Spirits are high, or so they should be. I know a lot of folks are still a little bit disappointed because the offense didn't play so well. I agree. During the game, watching the game, I thought that the offense was playing pretty similar to what they have been performing in most recent weeks. But after going through the all 22, I do think this team did make a couple of steps in the right direction. I do think that there are plays out there to be made. So today we're going to look at the all 22 and see what went right and what went wrong. Let's break it down. So this is the first drive for the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively. It is third down, approximately about 7 yards or so. I think Kenny Pickett did a pretty good job in this play, reading the defense. What the Baltimore Ravens are going to be trying to do to the Pittsburgh Steelers or to Kenny Pickett is they're going to try to make him think that Kyle Hamilton, number 14 for the Baltimore Ravens here, is in man on coverage with Connor Hayward. As you can see, he's following him throughout the motion. But as Connor Hayward comes back, you see Hamilton kind of drop off. Now, the other clue that this could be man is the cushion, or the lack thereof, at the bottom of the screen with George Pickens and the cornerback opposite of him. Now, throughout this game, we're going to see a little bit of a pattern here where if George Pickens is one-on-one in man coverage, Kenny Pickett's throwing it to him. I think somebody may have gotten in his ear and told him, hey, if it's one-on-one man coverage, you're going to throw the ball to him. And I think in this situation, he doesn't throw the ball to him because he realizes this isn't one-on-one coverage. This is going to be zone. And he got it right. One of the tall tales is going to be the fact that it is Kyle Hamilton who is covering Connor Hayward. With Connor Hayward, is a little bit of a sign, and then as he's coming back, Hamilton kind of drops back a little bit. Now, this is what the Baltimore Ravens are wanting Pickett to see. They are wanting Kyle Hamilton one-on-one with Connor Hayward here in the slot. And they want basically Kenny Pickett to think that the cornerback is on man press and that there's going to be an opening down the field. And they're hoping that he throws the ball there and would give an opportunity for Kyle Hamilton, who's in fact going to drop back for an interception. There's the play that is called. You're going to have Connor Hayward go up, and then he's going to come out towards the sideline about 5 yards or so, and then cut towards the sideline. George Pickens is going to go in, up, and then back out. But let's watch this. So this is vision time for Kenny Pickett. He has George Pickens running up the field, and he has two Raven defenders in front of him and one behind him trailing the cornerback, number 26, I believe. Connor Hayward is running towards the sideline, making his break point. So it appears from right here that throwing to George Pickens is probably not the ideal throw. What he also knows is that Connor Hayward's going to be crashing towards the sideline and that this cornerback, number 21, just out of position. Great decision, great throw. First down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, let's see what the offensive line did. Now, this play here, or what the offensive line did here, really impressed me. Leading up to this game or in previous weeks, this play here, this stunt where the edge would come around and attack the middle of the offensive line, has been a weakness for this offensive line. Isaac Seumalo especially. So when the Baltimore Ravens run this stunt and it doesn't work, it makes me wonder, is it because Isaac Seumalo is getting better at his age, or is it because Isaac Seumalo's, knocked off some rust, built some chemistry with the offensive line, even though he has a new tackle? Or is it because the tackle that is next to him is better and he trusts him more to get back to his responsibilities on time? Because that little stunt right there doesn't work all the time for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So on this play, we have what looks like a lot of guys in the box, right? And you have man-on-man coverage at the top of the screen with George Pickens and the cornerback across from him. This is another play where like I told you guys, if George Pickens is one-on-one, Kenny Pickett is going to throw it to him. This is the first example of that. You have the cushion at the top, single safety over the top, a lot of guys in the box. Pretty good indication that they're going to be coming after Kenny Pickett. This is the route combination, or the concept that you have. He sees that it's man. You can see right here that the Ravens cornerback across from George Pickens has pretty good leverage against him. He's in a pretty good position. Yeah, even right here, even as he's getting ready to throw, he's in pretty good position right here. This is going to be a very tough throw to make. And if Kenny just kind of comes off of that throw and just looks at the next guy under the slot receiver, Allen Robinson is about to come wide open. Would have been a first down drive continues, and perhaps maybe some more momentum continues, and the Steelers, not having to wait till the middle of the third quarter to come back offensively. And Robinson comes wide open, 5 yards behind the sticks, and instead, Kenny Pickett just kind of throws it out into the stands. Let's see the protection on that play. You got a pocket. No need to rush this. No need to throw it this quickly. If he's not there, look at the next progression, man. On this play, the Baltimore Ravens are showing, again, man coverage, but they're going to be dropping into zone. And the play the Pittsburgh Steelers are running is scheme very well to go up against zone coverage and designed, in my opinion, to hit the wide open Calvin Austin in the weak area of the zone. But for whatever reason, it just doesn't happen. As I said a couple of times, when George Pickens is one-on-one coverage, Kenny Pickett's going to look there right away every time. And that's what ends up happening in this situation. George Pickens is at the bottom of the screen. He's going to look down to George Pickens' area and focus more on him at the beginning of this play, completely missing what, in my opinion, the scheme is going up at the top for zone coverage. But if you were to look over to his left, you would have noticed that the slot cornerback is outside of Calvin Austin. That's going to give him a pretty good opening for a post in. Now, the middle linebacker is right there. So obviously you wouldn't be able to make that throw right here. Your tight end is going to come in and occupy the middle of the field, and it's going to take away or force that middle linebacker to come up. At the top of your screen, you're seeing receiver occupying outside cornerback, the slot cornerback, and this frame here on Calvin Austin is out of position, and Calvin Austin's going to come wide open, and he looks like he's ready to catch the ball, just never goes to him. This is the middle linebacker that I was saying that was getting pulled down from his position to open up that area for the throw to Calvin Austin. And right here, it appears, you look at Kenny Pickett, that he's looking at this exact area. He decides to hold on and then chuck it down to a guy that's covered. Just another play where one-on-one coverage on the outside with George Pickens puts it up for him. Good catch. That was a good throw. This is a back shoulder pass. It was a good throw. You're going to see from this angle the placement of the ball. Can't get better than that on a back shoulder pass. Kenny Pickett has some flashes in his game. He just got to be more consistent, and I think he needs to be more proficient in reading defenses, especially zone. And this play is kind of an example of that. This ends up going for positive yards, ends up going for a first down. It's just it could have been done more proficiently. I'll show you guys. So this is the route. Connor Hayward is going to run across the field, just kind of sit in the open area of the zone. So this is where the defensive backs for Baltimore Ravens are going to. This is the areas that they're covering. As you can see, there's a big hole there right in the middle. Connor Hayward's going to just kind of sit there. Now, where Kenny Pickett is at right now, that's a pretty clean pocket. Connor Hayward is right in front of him. Now, I understand perhaps he's trying to see something down the field, but unless he can throw it 65 yards to the end zone, I'm not sure those are legitimate options for him. Leaves a good pocket, finds Connor Hayward eventually, and does get the first down. He's wide open. It takes him so long to find him. I don't think you can expect a professional team to give this amount of time every play to their quarterback, to take their time to find the person that is open. I think that formula for success. Now, I love this play. This play was schemed up perfect for this situation. The Steelers have done a lot of things that have been a little bit predictable, and this is where they trick them. This is what the Baltimore Ravens are thinking that the Steelers are going to do on this play. They think that they're going to do an up and curl from the slot receiver for the outside receiver to go up and then kind of post into go up and the hash. But what the Steelers do instead is they do the curl thing. But there's a double move at the top of this route for George Pickens. It just absolutely works. This is one of those plays I was talking about where the Pittsburgh Steelers left some points on the board. So this is the snapshot. Calvin Austin's already done his little stop and curl back, and the two closest defenders near him are already stopping and giving them his attention. The safety's going to come down So that safety up top is thinking that George Pickens is going to run across into that open area of the field. It's right above it's right behind the sticks. It would have been a first down had George Pickens done that. You can see the safety he bites on it. George Pickens goes up. There's no way he's going to recover in time. He passes him, and a better thrown ball, and that would have been a touchdown. This is another play where Pickens is in one-on-one coverage. Pickens is going to throw it to him. It's the right decision. It's the right throw. It's the right read. His first one, when his first read is the right one, or it works the play works as designed. The offensive coordinator accurately predicted the defense's play. Because what ends up happening, guys, it's more than just the play call that comes in. There's concepts that are involved where if you have the quarterback's going to read a defender, and based on what that defender does is going to determine which route he's going to throw the ball to. You also have to see what the formation or the look that you're getting from the defense. If they look, they're showing you a look that is zone, and you have your main concept is a man beater, you're going to want to look at your secondary concept there, maybe to the other side of the field where perhaps it's better suited. And if you don't have those things in the right place, if you have a defense that's perfectly called to play or are showing a perfect play call towards what you want to do, that's when you got to audible. The only thing I'll say is that maybe perhaps he threw a little late. You want to see him throw it a little bit sooner. And maybe perhaps he's not putting George Pickens in. See, the ball, he does a little hitch, and then he throws it. The ball should have been out by now. Let me see. Let me rewind it so I can show you guys. When he does his little step back, instead of right there, plant and go, but he doesn't. He plants and then goes. Plant, throw. A little bit nitpicky, but play went well. I think that's the only complaint that I would have on that play. Like I mentioned, that's just real nitpicky stuff. I think it was a good decision, good throw. And this play is just an example of the defense going the right play, and there's nothing open. Kenny drops back. There's nowhere for him to go. And as you can see, pressure is about to get to him at this point. Nothing for him to do. I know that Najee Harris is going to come open, from the backfield, but you can't expect Kenny Pickett to see or know that at this point. Good to get out of there and just throw it away. Well, let's look at the offensive line and see what happened on that play. What you're going to have is a mirrored stunt where the same stunt is happening on both sides of the defense of line. You're going to have the outside edge both loop around and come and attack the inside of the offensive line. What ends up happening is Nate Herbig just kind of keep your eye on number 71 right here. He takes out Mason Cole, which allows his runner to go free. Let's watch that again. If there was some sort of bloopers, this play needs to be on it. Look, check this out. Boom. A good decision to throw the ball away. This play here, by far, in my opinion, is Kenny Pickett's worst play of the game. What you're going to have Najee Harris come out of the backfield and run out towards the sideline. You're going to have George Pickens come up and then post in. And this play or this concept is designed to put stress on the cornerback here and make him make a decision. If he goes down towards the running back, you throw to George Pickens. If he follows George Pickens, then you hit the running back. So even before Kenny Pickett looks over this direction, you can already tell that when he does that, this cornerback here isn't following George Pickens. He's looking at Najee Harris. He's going to go for Najee Harris. This was a play that happened in preseason. Remember, I can't remember what team it was. It may have been the Buffalo game, or the Tampa Bay game, where everybody said that the only bad play was that Kenny Pickett hit the running back and Deontay Johnson was coming open behind him. It's very similar to what happened in that play. Now, right here, what he should be reading is cornerback, running back, and his receiver, George Pickens. He just turns away. Like, it's wide open. It's wide open. And let's look at the pocket that he's leaving. And just throws it out of bounds. We'll watch that in regular motion. Everything about that play is what I've been seeing throughout this entire year from Kenny Pickett that I've been wanting him to get away from. Take a step forward and stop leaving clean pockets. When the concept is right in front of you, make the read, and make the throw. One of my favorite Mike Tomlinisms is, don't tell me about the labor pains, show me the baby. I don't care about what happened week 1 and how many times you were hit. I don't care. Dan Moore was your left tackle for a few games, and there was some pressure that was applied. It wasn't always like that. This guy's left clean pockets since week 1. He has in this game, a lot of clean pockets up to this point of the game, and he's just continually doing this over and over again. This is one of my biggest pet peeves. I really like this play from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to be stretching out the defense and attacking the weak part of the zone and going deep at the same time. I thought this was a great play call. It was a great decision by Kenny Pickett, a really good throw. Like I said, he flashes. There are times where he frustrates me. There are times he does well as well. And the way this works is you're going to have Najee Harris come across the bottom, and you're going to have your 2 receivers go deep. Calvin Austin's going to run and go, basically just go straight to clear out the safety. George Pickens is going to go straight, then come towards the sideline. Najee Harris's route is to keep the cornerback honest in between Pickett's route and his own route to give that wide open throw. Receiver goes in motion. Play action pass. So right here, Najee Harris is coming out. He's around what the 20 is. Number 21 is watching in that direction. He's actually slowing down his back pedal because he has to make sure that Kenny Pickett's not going to throw it underneath. And given the tape and recent film on Kenny Pickett, one would think that that's probably where we go. To give you an idea where everybody's facing. Wide open. George Pickens and we out of the zone. Perfect play, perfect pass, perfect execution. Go watch the protection. The Steelers really did give Kenny Pickett some time in this game. You can't say that they didn't. On this play here, this is 3rd down. The Steelers are at about the 34, so they're in field goal range here. We're still pretty tight. And what you have here is you have a lot of guys in the box. So the runs are showing blitz. You have a safety up at the top by himself, and you have a cornerback playing press up top. You have a go route on the outside. That's going to be a valuable option if the Ravens blitz. And give it it's Calvin Austin. He's one of the fastest guys, if not the fastest guy in the league. Throw it up to him. The other option that you have on the blitz is you have Connor Hayward that's going to go up and then slant in. You have 2 options against this blitz if it ends up happening. If they end up dropping back, you got some other options with the receivers. I think this is the route that Kenny Pickett is playing again. As I said multiple times in this video, if George Pickens is one-on-one, they're going to throw him the ball. It appears that everybody has man coverage, so I think he's staring down Pickens for a little bit, maybe a little bit too long. Right here, he's got enough of a pocket to have thrown the ball. Knowing that they're coming at him, that's the first thing you would have seen is that nobody dropped back. All right, who are my fast routes to get the ball out of? You can either look at the top, like I said, and just throw it out there towards the end zone and see if your guy can get there, or you can, throw it down here towards the bottom of the screen where Connor Hayward is wide open. But the one thing you cannot do, absolutely cannot do, is take a sack and put yourself outside of field goal range. And that's the one thing Kenny does. Now, I know some folks are going to say there's some pressure. And yes, I agree. There is pressure that is in his face, but an NFL quarterback has to make these throws in this situation. Look at Jalen Warren, number 30. He gives his quarterback enough time to make this throw. He hits 1, 2. You can see that Pickett's just kind of freaking out at that moment. As soon as he sees that these guys are coming in, look at his body. He is dealing with a knee injury, so maybe perhaps that's why he's a little bit on the cautious side, so to speak. Points that should have been on the board, even if it was 3, that are no longer there. So on this play, Kenny Pickett decides to just drop it down pretty quickly. I think he realized that on the last play when everybody kind of blitzed. Did have a quick open option here in this play. You can see that it appears that the Baltimore Ravens are going to be blitzing again. Jalen Warren's just going to run down into the flat and just do some amazing things. Wide open. It ends up not being a blitz. Everybody drops back, but because they're dropping back so far, it's a zone play. The cornerback that is covering George Pickens at the bottom of the screen, number 2, is too concerned with George Pickens. They leave Jalen Warren wide open, and he just does some amazing things after he gets the ball. He's really, really making a claim to be the number one back. Now, there's a couple plays later on the same drive. Again, remember when I said this team left some plays and some points on the board? Here's another one. Good concept, good decision, good route, just a bad throw. This ball should be going to the pylon. It should be hitting the pylon or just outside of the pylon. It should have been a pass interference too. And this angle will show where it kind of fell from the sky at. Like I said, this should be hitting the pylon. Up and away, man. Let this guy jump up, do George Pickens stuff. You know what I'm saying? Could have asked for a flag a little bit more convincingly. Here's the very next play. The way this play is designed is to attack the weak area of the zone. The spot that I've been, hammering that the Pittsburgh Steelers need to target. Maybe Matt Canada's been wanting a little bit of the state of the Steelers on his burner account, but I digress. On this play, it's going to be wide open. The reason why it's schemed out so well, Connor Hayward, in order for this play to work, he's got to have a route that's going to get between the middle linebacker here, whose possible job could be to drop back and take this play away. So the Pittsburgh Steelers know that. And what do? They throw Connor Hayward in a curl outside of this linebacker, and they kind of pick him in a certain instance. And his player that's taking him is this defensive back up by the goal line. And so what Connor Hayward essentially does in this play is take out two players from the middle here, giving a wide open throw to Allen Robinson that should have turned into 6. Check it out. Look at what Connor Hayward does. Make sure that he's not in the zone, and it's a bad throw. Kenny Pickett can just take some off of it, right? Even if he throws it in the area that he throws it at. I think that gives Allen Robinson a better opportunity to come right, catch this ball. It's just a little too fast and maybe a little bit too high. We'll watch it from the other angle. Look at the way the ball travels. I know it's windy, but that's a wobbler. And it's just too high. Too high for the receiver. It's unfortunate. On this play here, Kenny Pickett finds the weak part of the zone, hits Allen Robinson on time. So this is the last drive that ended up being the game-winning drive for the touchdown that ended up going deep. George Pickens on. This is one of the first plays of that drive. This play, I really do like what Kenny Pickett was able to do. He drops back. He's reading the field, reading the safeties, turns, cuts it loose, has two guys on him. They're about to hit him. This is one of his better plays. Not the best one. Obviously, I think that the touchdown pass was absolutely beautiful. A good decision, execution, pressure, whole 9 yards, first down, third down and long. Can't get any better than that. That's way to be clutch. That's one thing about Kenny Pickett he does have is that he is a very clutch football player. He doesn't get tight when everybody else does. So here we go again. We have man coverage at the top of the screen. One-on-one, Pickens. Where do you think the ball's going to? I like this back shoulder pass. Perfect throw, perfect execution, perfect placement of the ball. Now here's the touchdown pass. One-on-one coverage at the bottom, cover 0, no safety in the middle. That's what's circled. Everybody has press coverage. Guy at the top of the screen doesn't know what he's doing. That's why his hands are like that. I just noticed that. I'm just kidding. I don't know what he's doing. He might be doing a call or something. One-on-one coverage at the bottom of your screen. George Pickens. Kenny Pickett has been throwing the back shoulder pass all game in this situation. It was the perfect moment to switch it up and throw it out in front of him. And just look at where this ball lands. Touchdown. Let's watch the protection. Good protection. Would have had all day. Good position. Perfect throw. Perfect pass. Good execution. Great celebration. The whole 9 yards. Pittsburgh Steelers win 17-10 and are on top of the North now. Now it's just week 5. Steelers have a bye week. They got to come back. After the bye, I'm hoping that Deontay Johnson comes back. I'm hoping that Cam Hayward can make his way back onto the team as well. I think those two additions later on this season are going to be crucial for this team, especially if they're going to want to try to make a late push. Last year, before the bye, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, and the team just didn't look right. They didn't look good. After the bye, they got a lot better. They got their feet under them. They figured out what they were doing right, what they were doing wrong, strengths and weaknesses, and adjusted in the second half of the season. I think the Steelers are going to do the same thing here. That being said, I'm out of here. Thank you all for sticking tuned. If you're still here and not subscribed, give us a favor and subscribe. Give us a like, the whole 9 yards. That being said, I'm out of here. Peace.